Let's check out what our man Bellular has to say. 10.1.5 looks way better than we thought. Also some drama. Always good clickbait. Let's check out what Bellular has to say.
News! Right, there's a lot of news, and we're going to do it in 3 parts today. Important stuff outside of the game, stuff in the game right now, and stuff about what's next. So, let's just roll. Okay, story number 1. Well, we've got another new MMO coming from a pretty damn major ex-Blizzard staffer, which of course does mean another studio with tasty money to go out poaching with. And this time round, it's Ghostcrawler, Greg Street, having went through a family tragedy, decided to leave Riot Games, and he's began.
That's right, he left the Riot MMO team. You guys know I've talked about a lot about the Riot MMO because I think it has the most potential to be somewhat like a WoW MMO, right? But this guy, Greg Street, left. And where did he go?
A new adventure, a new post-Riot chapter of his life.
To another MMO.
And he's on a new MMORPG project. And he has, we found out, hired Brian Halinka from the World of Warcraft team.
Holy shit, this is where Brian went? Damn, these guys are poaching a lot of MMOers. Holy shit.
Somewhat of a mentee back whenever Greg was working on World of Warcraft. Most recently, he was heading up a bunch of PvP and combat design stuff. From what I understand, their PvP plans have been a little bit more longer in the tooth because they've had to staff teams
he's still
up,
relevant.
And we haven't
well, he's kind of disappeared because he's been working on the Riot MMO.
As for this then, look, expect more, but likely not too many more poaches happening here because this is in the very early stages. As for what we know, is an MMO or is MMO-like? We know that Greg has found a...
Whatever MMO they're working on, we're probably going to see it in fucking 10 years.
Strategic partner, so likely a big investor who has bought in on Greg's vision. And right now, he's looking for elite-level leaders, really, to staff up his teams. So, pretty interesting. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of a while away.
Yeah.
Which gives me a nice segue because, well, we are actually cooking up some more Pale Beyond
exactly
stuff
why
right
would Bellular care?
But we've actually kicked off on what we're doing
play
next.
MMOs, so
what
some
all of my
interesting,
tomorrow is going to be.
Interesting background news.
It'll be a while before I can show any of that off. Patreon members, it'll be
MMOs take so damn long to make.
Experimenting new things there. I've hired up to let us engage in far more open game development, and we'll be kicking that off when the time is right. For now, though, I've got regular behind-the-scenes content going up there, weekly vlogs. We've got early access to videos. We've got our lore podcast, which is now its 4th episode of its new run. Guys are going really in deep on really some of the coolest stuff that's going on right now.
Going in
and of
deep.
course, we've got the
only way to go.
And want to call out as well for these, right? You know, if you like Dragonology and stuff as a kid, obviously pretty awesome. Flip it around, though. These are actually all D&D compatible scenarios with, like, you know, stats and stuff if you actually want to, you know, play some of this.
works hard on his Patreon rewards. I'm not going to lie.
Mention.
He does some cool stuff.
So if you want a bunch of content from us, loot straight from the artists who work in the game, links are right below. And with that said, let's get back into the grisly business of our next story. So this is a bit of a grim one. Did Mike Ybarra really fire a dev of 9 years tenure just because of... a joke written for a venture company, Goblin? Well, that's kind of what people are saying. We certainly don't know if it was Ybarra literally, but allegedly it is somebody very high up at the company.
Wait. He wrote, "The Goblin says looks like another yacht to me. Damn, what a shame this didn't make it into the game. It's ridiculous." Sorry, this... He made a comment about Bobby's yachts in the game from a Goblin. Holy shit. It was live for almost a week. I can read you guys what I'm hiding behind my camera. Then they hotfixed off as my termination process began behind my back after someone very high at the company was playing the content and saw the lines.
Some dialogue in the Forbidden Reach from a
man got fired because Bobby needs a yacht.
They got offended by that, and then they fired Eric Covington, allegedly without really much process or room for remedy.
Damn.
And in a funny situation where the offending lines were actually shown off in promotional materials for World of Warcraft patch 10.0.7. Now, the body of the offending jokes were created as a team. Ultimately, though, the hammer fell on Eric. Now, we first knew he had left about 2 months ago when he announced that he was looking for work. And somewhat suspiciously, we knew that he wasn't looking for work voluntarily. The jokes in question are from the loot goblins who work for the venture company on the Forbidden Reach. These are jokes that are exactly in line with how the venture company have been portrayed since vanilla, you know? But hey,
Yep. He says, looks like another yacht for me.
maybe the venture company just rings a little bit differently given that recent news.
Mr.
This is
Bobby.
obviously all amid a backdrop of Blizzard's increasing employee attrition over the mandated RTO, where we even have a producer on the WoW team talking about them realistically having to think about what features and bits of content they have to cut or delay because people are turning in their notices.
Hey,
We've seen this on Twitter.
At least WoW hasn't gotten Overwatch yet. Let's just be happy. Overwatch 2 literally had the only content that made it Overwatch 2 cut.
Time. I mean, I'm playing a priest right now. I absolutely love the design of the class. I
Bobby
love the new
maxing
tier
life.
set
Yeah, that
I've
man's
got.
been maxing life for
pretty
quite a while
sad
now.
That the artist who actually designed that tier set is currently working at Riot Games.
Oh,
so
no.
I really liked their work in the game that I was interested in.
Damn. Oh, the priest tier set is by far the best tier set in the game right now. That guy left? Holy shit.
Now, we also have members of the Diablo 4 team talking to the press, saying that they're worried about their ability to deliver on its seasonal content. Because they've had a lot of resignations and also know that many people in their teams are planning to leave after the game ships. Of course, in doing this and in the way that they've done it, Blizzard leadership are making enemies of, in this very specific case, their own quest team. From what we understand, from what Eric has said, his former colleagues are seemingly furious and were very supportive of him. Now, the quest team is the very team that, as with the recent Blue Dragon quest line and the tier quest line that just activated as of this week,
those were good.
is in fact making some of the best content that the game has seen in years.
Those are really good.
There's that rumor that this is coming from Mike Ybarra. It's because somebody speculated that it was Ybarra and then Covington liked that tweet. But of course, by no means is that a confirmation. It is absolutely a bad look. And before we get into the video game news, which actually is pretty cool, there's the final bit here. So, final bit of spice. TLDR, Variety Magazine ran a big puff piece on Bobby. Look at his little cute eyes.
Yeah.
Bobby, he's got some real bangers.
Is it like, you know, we all play WoW. Is it me or does this man actually look like a real life goblin? I don't know what it is. Maybe because we just refer to him as a goblin all the time. I feel like he looks like a goblin. Legitimately looks like an RL goblin. Bobby did nothing wrong. Look at poor Bobby.
Look at his little cute eyes.
Look at poor little Bobby.
Bobby, he's got some real bangers in it. You know, he's saying he's really a union man on account of his mother being a teacher and how he's the only Fortune 500 leader, CEO, to be in a union.
No, he's definitely human. Okay, Tidewell.
Literally has to be in order to have his bit part in the movie Moneyball, which I don't think means what he thinks it means. Yeah, it's pretty rough. The article characterizes him as being a disarmingly warm man with an air of Ricky, someone like can-do energy.
He's a good guy, okay.
My news team prepared a really awesome deep dive that tears this thing into pieces. I actually just recorded it. It's awesome. It's up on our news channel if you actually want to dive into this. But what's fascinating to me is that even in a world where Eric gets yeeted out for a joke, one that Blizzard even included on their own marketing materials, we've now got a host of Blizzard staff who are out in the open furious on Twitter, and I commend their bravery for that. I think so. And before anybody says, oh, it's just a tweet, well, it's a lot more than that when you're responding to somebody being fired over a joke. Pretty crazy. And with that, let's get to the bit that we actually care about, which is the video game. The video game that's made by developers who make cool shit for us. Number one, we got the trading post because it's a new month.
Good trading post this month.
Well, it's a chunky one. 5,750 tendies to get everything. That's a lot of tendies. Blizzard have consistently said that their intent is that you do not purchase everything every month, that this is just a bunch of stuff that will be continually, mixed in, mixed out, rotated about. It's pretty big.
3 mounts
this
month.
Mounts.
That's
We've
crazy.
got Quox, that's a recolor of Sharkbait for completing the log, the Cindermane Charger, which is a retired recruit-a-friend mount, and the Royal Swarmer, which is a recolor of an A3 mount. The Halajar recolored armor ensemble looks pretty damn sweet, and we've got a bunch of really nice off-pieces, I think, versus last month. So
also, don't forget to get that Amazon, like that purple shirt. Whatever, if you have an Amazon Prime account linked up.
I have to wonder, though. I don't know about you, but I've got a lot of spare tendies because I haven't really bought much in the recent 1 or 2 months because they haven't been as strong. I wonder if they're being a bit agile, making this a little bit more of a chunky month because they kind of know the people are sitting in plenty of tendies. And when you have plenty of tendies, the value you assign to your tendies is going to be lower because they're plentiful. Okay,
True.
Let's hop then into some Mythic Plus.
Standard
We've got
economics.
To deal with the afflicted affix that we're all afflicted with. Don't you love wee lads all the way across the room at the other side of the big fiery laser beam? No bother. Great. This is an affix that is just interacting rather
You
poorly with
purchased all the
dungeon
mounts this month.
layouts.
I might do the same.
Kind of as if the lessons of quaking haven't been fully applied. So I'd say, Blizzard, here's what you do, right? Play a voice line or an alert whenever they spawn. Give them proper nameplates
That
as
would
well.
be good.
The reason why here is that if they spawn very far away or in the middle of a very big pool, it's hard to even notice them. And if they spawn...
I think I totally agree with him. The thing is, a lot of times when you're in a boss fight or something, I don't know about you guys, but I know when a mechanic's going to happen a lot of times when you get used to a boss fight from the voice lines. You know, like there's the classic, like Blades of Light, right? You know he's about to spin his dick around and hit everyone with his axe. Or, what is it? Jesus, there's been some really good voice lines. You know, come to me on your knees. Oh, that one's good for other reasons. But a lot of times voice lines are triggers for mechanics. So yeah, if they added a voice alert or something, that'd be great.
Directly on a
for
big
some of
ad
these
or a
Mythic
boss,
Plus mechanics.
It actually is very hard to click on them. These mobs use the very tiny
Withering
friendly
Sheen,
NPC
yes.
Blizzard
Come
health
super
bars
rare on
that
me, yeah.
cannot be displayed.
That'd be a great voice line.
You know, larger or customized much via add-ons. So you really need to make sure that like you have these enabled and that you check the larger nameplates option in the game settings. It's weird. The UI does not support this design. Also, don't have them spawn like in boss fights, especially when their visuals are so easy to miss.
Yeah.
Even if your group has multiple dispels, the pseudo-random spawn could overlap with a very important dispel, and then you're just stuck with minus 100%
That's just
haste.
bad RNG.
So yeah, not great. But there is actually some good news. We've got even more quality of life improvements, starting off with an Athalrus, and this is a big one. The burning chains that are found throughout the smoldering barracks area of the dungeon no longer damage players, and that means you can use them a lot more. They can do insane damage to trash
What the
mobs.
fuck
So
are the burning
if you do a
chains? I don't
really
even know
big
what that
pull,
is.
You tank
Great.
near a chain,
I'm a noob.
and then you get somebody in the group to click and drag it over the mobs. And then this will do a lot of damage, and it will turn an otherwise rather tight
cool.
dungeon timer into one that can feel pretty free if you're getting the bosses clean, because you're saving so much time with the trash. So that's pretty good. Then the previous cheese strategy for Magma Tusk that involved the Draconic Tincture, that has been fixed. Now, this was a potion that was on the table.
I didn't even know there was a
entrance
cheese for
to
this.
The boss area. It's used for an achievement. You could throw
Has
on the boss
Magma Tusk
midway
been
through its
nerfed a
first
lot?
pass.
Because I did him recently, and I thought he was supposed to be a hard boss. It was easy. You just keep him out of the lava. Keep him out of his own lava pools, and you kill him.
Of lava spray to instantly give the boss 2 stacks of magma tentacle, but preventing it from gaining any more throughout the fight. Now, each stack of magma tentacle increases the duration of the magma eruption dot up to a maximum of 20 seconds when it's at 5 stacks.
Yeah.
So
it's an
if you did this,
anti-hentai
it would just
fight.
make the
You gotta
fight
kill him before he
so
gets too
much
many
easier to heal
tentacles.
through, especially on a high tyrannical key, right? And, you know, you maybe would even be forced to use group-wide immunities, very heavy defensives, and maybe just a bit of Jesus on your side to get you through it.
Yeah.
Now, to compensate on this fix, well, magma eruption damage has been nerfed by 20% and lava spray by 15%. More may be needed, though, again, to address with the higher keys. Vortex Pinnacle then. This is great. The cooldown for greater heal on the Temple Adept mobs has been increased, which is nice. The Skyfall Star AoE damage has been reduced 20%, meaning you might not get insta-nuked when you're clearing those out.
The common theme for this entire season has been Blizzard has been nerfing the shit out of these dungeons to make sure they're fun. They should be.
Or, like many people,
this shit should not be as hard as raid content.
The thing and skipping them. Then the Skyfall Novas, which are the adds in the last boss, their health has actually been nerfed again by another 20%.
Nice.
Yeah. That mob is the one like big deciding factor on whether your group will time or even finish the key. Again, if it's a higher key, because the amount of damage needed to kill these guys in the very short time frame is insane on, again, tyrannical high keys. So look, credit to the devs. They've actually been real on top of their shit with this stuff. And yeah, I think we all commend that.
Yep.
Next then, Silver Hand is out. This is the continuation of the tier quest line. I'm not going to spoil it here. Just play the bloody thing. It's content in the game now. But I do have a point of feedback, Liz.
Thank you.
One thing that I know people love in FF14 is that they can just sit
Cat
down
girls.
when a new patch comes out and they just have a, 4 to 6 hours of story and they can just play it and,
Right.
get immersed. Like how you play the campaign of a video game. Now, you guys know the macro narrative design qualms that I have with the 10.1 main campaign. We did a whole video on it, but I
Right.
think that we can all agree that the likes
Hey,
of the
what's
Blue
up, Pop?
Dragon Quest are absolutely stellar in their quality.
Yeah, loved
But I
it.
do have a fear, especially with the Blue Quest, because it came out like a few weeks late. We didn't really know when it was coming out. It wasn't communicated.
I didn't
that
even know
well,
it was out.
and I just
started
worry
doing it.
that so many people never see any of this.
That's right, Cat Girls.
And this is in fact the best stuff in the game.
It's very good.
People probably logged in. They felt that day one was super lacking in content. They felt, logged in for the new patch. And maybe I understand that the season's next week, but they don't feel good. And then maybe they're just like, this isn't really what I hoped it would be. I'm just going to play something else and not do my subscription.
That's sad.
So that's my feedback, Blizzard. You have really awesome content, but I do feel that this way that it's being doled out every week. Last week or 2 weeks ago,
Even the Black Dragon story is locked behind Sakarath kill. So if you haven't killed Sakarath, you still have not done the Black Dragon story. Until LFR goes live, then everyone will be able to do it. But even that, that's content some people haven't played.
And then this week
it's
we got
really
the tier
good.
quest. And people don't really know unless Wowhead tells them.
Yeah, the Blue Dragonflight
I
quests
just
were
feel
really
that
cool.
that is really underutilizing the content that they've got. I think that if this stuff is presented as a big campaign, or is at least there so that you can just play it all and that narrative content is there.
What's not true?
That people can just sit down, get super immersed, and just... Because, I would rather just spend a Saturday, go super into the lore, really enjoy the story, play it like an old school campaign, and then just walk away from it feeling
That's why I
really
love
good.
early
And
expansion
I think
quest lines.
FF14 proves that
There's so much to
if
do.
you leave people feeling super chuffed after day one of your patch, they're just going to be really jazzed about your game. I think they're missing a trick. The good thing is they do actually have the content to back it up, though. All right, PTR. This is more exciting. Let's talk about what's coming next.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Infinites. Since the Burning Crusade...
Yeah, 1 week later. When LFR opened, then it opened for everybody. But it was gated for a little while behind the Sakarath kill. Sam, do you ever play off stream, or do you just... No, I play
Infinite
off
Dragons
stream,
have looked bloody class,
I do
and
play
we're
off
now
stream.
getting into the action. We've got an Infinite Flight recolor of the 10-1
have to
World
get to do my
Gear,
Mythic Plus
and look
and
at
stuff.
it, it's great. Yeah, I love it.
Damn.
There's also a bronze colored version too, and we
So
even
badass.
got Infinite Flight dragon riding customizations as well.
Yes.
And given what
Very
was
excited
foreshadowed
about
with
this.
Chromie and Eternus in 10.0, in the temporal conflux storyline, could a splinter of the Infinite Dragonflight, or maybe some of the Infinite Dragonflight themselves, end up taking up that 6th space atop Valdrakken? The idea, truth, potential,
5 to 9
bronze, infinite.
streamer, 9 to 5
It
attorney.
could kind of work. Now, speaking of that, the new Mega Dungeon is testable
Very
on
true.
PTR. To be honest, I'm not going to touch it in PTR.
The cat girl race
A, I
will
don't have
happen,
the time,
yes.
and B, I'd
I
rather
agree.
do it on my live character because, honestly, Blizzard's Mega Dungeons are some of the most exciting content that they add. Season 4 of Shadowlands was an absolute joy on account of having those Mega Dungeons because they're just so well designed and so
the Mega
fun.
Dungeons are fun.
So I can't wait
I'm
for
excited
that.
for
But
this,
next,
10.1.5
we've got
dungeon.
Time Rifts. All right, Time Rifts are our new world content
What else,
feature in
Druid?
10.1.5, sending us across the timeways to various
interesting
alternate
one.
timelines. They look neat at the very least, and now we've got an idea of how the rewards and the progression play out. It all ties into a reputation with Sora Dormi, who is the prime consort of Norse Dormu. She
So this will be, what's it called? Like a replacement for the Farak invasions
is
or
based
something?
in a new area called Aeon's Fringe. It seems to be kind of like a space outside of space, time outside of time, like a, little time pocket. But anyway, it's
Yeah,
a
Unreal,
funky
that works
place.
out pretty
It
nice for you.
even has a bar in it where Hearthstone Bob happens to be. Cool. Anyway, from there, we actually, we do those rifts. Now, it's early in PTR. There's, killing mobs to gain progress. And the more you fill up the bar, the more rewards you get. There's like a boss at the end, portals
Sure.
of going through to the various different places. In the testing that Dakor was doing a little bit earlier, just ahead of this video, he killed Murloc Gul'dan in Asmerloth and then united Murloc
Damn.
Alexstrasza with Alexstrasza. Who knows? Perhaps we'll get a timeline where everybody has sausages for fingers too. They would probably make the reference if they could. Anyway, this stuff is
They get
early.
fired
We will
for that
see
one,
how it
too.
shapes up over the next few weeks. But each time rift location actually has its own themed vendor. And there's an absurd amount to collect. We've got weapons, ensembles, armor pieces, tabards.
I love that they're really
and
embracing
those mint
transmog. All this stuff is
paracausal
cool.
fragment family of trinkets that I talked about in last
And one of the best things about it is it's not player power progression related. Not everything, I think Blizzard has learned not everything in the game needs to be related to player power progression. That there are things that should be optional content. And yet people will want to do it because people love transmog. I mean, one of the best things in an MMO is just looking badass. And looking badass is a big motivation to do content. So I love seeing stuff like this. And they've done this a lot in Dragonflight. That gives me Legion Invasion points and Argus vibes. Essentially, that's what it is.
Content players are eating
another
good. There is
Parak
certainly
Invasion,
more coming.
Legion Invasion, all that
you know,
same
more
shit.
than usual. And I'm pretty keen to see some of these like little slices of alternate timelines. There's a Titan Utopia one, and even the idea of having the Horde versus Alliance sort of focused timeline. You know, it's got a vendor with loads of Horde versus Alliance, like classic faction-themed rewards.
Which is nice, because we probably will never get Horde versus Alliance again
the
in the real
live game
world.
is getting better because they're doing a really good job of just paying attention to things and hotfixing them and making them better. We would really like it if that affix, though, in Imperial got just a little bit less ridiculous, was applied maybe with a little bit more tact in those dungeons. As we look to the future then, we've got a big new mega dungeon, you know, 8 bosses, 2 wings, eventually it'll
for
be
a 0.5 patch. Let's not forget, it's a 0.5 patch.
Also
that's some good
maybe not
content
as much
right there.
as we expected. Because I don't think we expected a big bit of world content, but it actually does seem like we're getting a heavily themed bit of world content that's had quite a lot of effort put into it. That really is all looking quite good. And then again, 10.1.7, that will be our prelude patch. That itself will seemingly have quite a bit. That will then lead us into the Emerald Dream for 10.2. So, as much as unfortunately in a video like this, I do have to talk
Emerald Dream
about
announcement,
those
expansion
meta topics,
announcement.
you know.
Oh, look at Bobby. Look at the poor man.
It's one of those things. Lore is Axe Staffer in the game is just talking about, like, listen, you know, clapping back at the company and all that stuff's, you know, good, but, you know, being like,
this is so true. This is so true. Seems like a good day to remind everyone that boycotting a video game from a mega corporation run by a shitbag has no effect whatsoever on the shitbag. That's right. Because they built things in a way that they can't fail, and it's only the employees who suffer because of their because they are a shitbag. Yep, that's true. I've told people this before. I mean, like, you know, you boycotted Blizzard because of whatever. You know, somebody drank some breast milk out the fridge, whatever you want to say. Guess what? Those rich big boys at the top sitting on top of their money bags, you ain't nothing but a shart in the wind to them. They could care less. It ain't their underwear that you're messing up. It's everybody else's. So just remember that when you go to boycott, you know, a game like WoW, you're really, all they're going to do is lay off some devs if they're making less money. That's the truth. They're not going to lay themselves off. They might get themselves off. They ain't going to lay themselves off. Oh, this is a very, very true tweet.
You know, to support the devs.
Twister. True tweet.
It's like that doesn't really work for the devs. It's just the kind of thing. You know,
when is 10.1.5 coming? End of the summer, probably.
When it comes to you know, consuming content, right? And there's always those bad incentives and stuff floating around. The best
or is it midsummer? I have to. They updated the little timeline thing. It's on there.
What they're doing, champion them, and call the bullshit out when we see it, and make sure that people know about it. You just have
Speaking
to
of boycotting, though, reminder boycotting.
Change can actually happen.
The upcoming
Flash
movie.
What they were trying to do with loot boxes
because Ezra Miller's a
EA,
piece of
Star Wars
shit.
Battlefront 2,
He was hospitalized
and then
multiple
they
women.
reversed that whole thing, and loot boxes have really fallen out of fashion in the industry.
Work. Yeah, that might work.
We just, you know, we need to stay the course.
I know that guy's had problems, but I actually don't know his story.
After they've broken. But also, we can't lose sight that we're into this because we really like games. I see so many people being so doomer about what 2023 is for gaming. But you actually, you know, go to Metacritic and look at all the best games. Or
there's been good games.
Better. All the best games that came out in 2023. And there's so many of them.
Yeah, there's been good
right?
games.
Like even, you know, looking at what's the new Street Fighter.
Harry Potter, new Street Fighter that he's mentioning, Diablo 4. I mean, so far that's not bad. Dragonflight, come on. There's been some good shit out of Dragonflight for sure this year. Yeah, people like just doom and gloom.
Got in terms of even its
I think it's been pretty good this year.
And how good that is. Just the amount of incredible games coming out. Can't lose sight of that. There is a lot of really good stuff in the industry. It's just, we do have to wade through some pretty shitty news. But it is what it is. We'll get through it together. That's it for
That's
things
right.
today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Over on Patreon, I got early access to a few of the future videos we got coming up. It is a big, yummy, exciting, fun new month of loot over on Patreon. You know, there's the vlogs from me and all that. So if you want to support, you know, chip in a bit to support what our team's doing and pay those bills, it's down below. Other than that, though, yeah, I've got some games to review, and I've got a whole bunch of work on what's next for us to be
Nice.
beavering away at, so that one day I can present it to you, and it's all very exciting. All right,
Oh,
have
it
a
is.
wonderful day and a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good stuff. I still can't believe that guy got fired over the Bobby needs a boat meme in the game. Oh well, he kind of got fucked. You know what's not fucked? Getting a sword. We're going straight into it. I can't wait anymore. That's it. Let's go.